John Force's crashes broke my heart like Senna's death, but NHRA proved racing spirit lives. Alright guys, so here we go again. Today I have my friend, Cristiano. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks man.
Crashes, that's plural, my friend. While my childhood hero Ayrton Senna died in one tragic crash that broke Brazil's heart forever, there's an American legend who survived multiple crashes and kept coming back stronger. I'm talking about John Force, the most successful driver in NHRA history with 157 wins and 16 championships, and watching his crashes broke my heart, just like Senna's death. But NHRA proved something beautiful. The racing spirit can survive anything. May 1st, 1994. I was 15 years old when one crash took away the greatest racing driver who ever lived. Ayrton Senna hit the wall at Tamborella Corner, and in that single moment, Brazil lost its soul. 3 million people mourned in São Paulo. One crash, one hero, gone forever.
We are here in this third round, the European season, starting now, starting from zero. So basically our championship starts here, 14 races, not 16.
What if I told you there's a man who faced death multiple times and kept racing? What if I told you that American motorsports learned how to protect its heroes instead of losing them? That's the John Force story, and it's why NHRA gives me hope that Senna's spirit lives on. Meet John Force, the man who redefined what it means to be a racing legend. While Senna had 41 wins in Formula One, Force has an incredible 157 wins in NHRA. While Senna won 3 world championships, Force has 16 funny car championship. He was the first driver to reach 100 wins, and he did it while surviving crashes that would have ended any other career. But here's what breaks my heart and fills it with hope. At the same time, Force didn't just survive one crash like Senna couldn't. He survived multiple major crashes and kept coming back. Each time, NHRA learned something new about safety. Each time, they made the sport safer for the next generation. Let me tell you about the crashes that made me cry like a Brazilian watching Senna's accident. In 2007, Force had a horrific crash in Texas. His car exploded, caught fire, and I thought we were going to lose another racing legend. But he survived the HANS device, the safety cell, the fire suppression systems, everything Senna didn't have. Then came more crashes, each one making my heart stop, each one proving that NHRA had learned from tragedies like Senna's. In 2019, another massive crash. In 2024, the one that I witnessed here in the same track here in Richmond that nearly took him away. But every time, John Force walked away because NHRA refused to accept that losing heroes was just part of racing. Last year, I was standing right here in Richmond, Virginia, when John Force had what could have been his final crash. At 75 years old, after 157 wins, after surviving so many accidents, I watched this legend fight for his life one more time. And in that moment, I felt the same heartbreak I felt when we lost Senna. But here's the difference. While Senna's crash ended everything, Force's crash became another chapter in the incredible survival story. The safety innovations, the medical response, the protective equipment, everything had evolved since 1994. NHRA had learned from every tragedy. Alright guys, let me tell you about Brittany Force, a woman who watched her father nearly die and then did something so spectacular. It still gives me chills. While John was fighting for his life in that Richmond hospital, Brittany was facing the most difficult decision any racing driver can face. Do you keep racing when you've just seen what it can take away? But here's what makes the Force family extraordinary. Instead of letting fear win, Brittany channeled every ounce of emotion, every prayer for her father's recovery, every tear she shed into pure speed. She didn't just return to racing, she returned with a vengeance that would make even Senna proud. The pressure on her was unimaginable. She wasn't just racing for herself, she was racing for her father's legacy, for the Force family name, for every little girl who dreams of going 300 miles per hour. And what she did next will go down as one of the greatest achievements in motorsports history. April 25th, 2025, a date that will live forever in NHRA history.
This should be absolute target practice for the likes of Brittany Force and Doug Coletta. Let's see what they can dial up. Wow, look at this. Doug Coletta goes 364.6 at 333 miles an hour. Brittany Force chased him across the finish line at 366.7, a 301 mile an hour shot to the 8th mile.
Look at the top speed.
This is officially the fastest speed that we've seen in a 341.59 mile an hour speed. Good gravy. That is the fastest run in the history of Top Fuel. That is the second fastest run in the history of drag racing. What in the world is going on here tonight?
Brittany Force, 341 miles per hour. When I say those numbers, what goes through your mind?
Man, you know, she was flying on that run. We really needed that. We needed a solid run. We didn't get in there on that first run. We had no power. Car shut off, no power. And this one we needed. You know, it's 4 wide here. We want to do as great as we can. We want to get down there every single lap, you know, in each lane. So it was unfortunate we didn't get down there the first one. That one, 341. That's awesome to have that top speed, something like that for this HendrickCars.com team. We're all really excited about that.
While her father was still recovering from that crash, I witnessed Brittany Force strapped herself into 11,000 horsepower of pure American engineering and did something that defied physics itself. 338,000.17 miles per hour in 3.623 seconds. Let me put that that into perspective for you. That's faster than a commercial airplane takes off. That's faster than most Formula One cars can go on their fastest straights. Brittany didn't just break the record, she obliterated it. But here's what moves me to tears. When she crossed that finish line, the first person she thought about wasn't herself. It wasn't the record, it was her father. She proved that the Force family racing spirit doesn't just survive crashes, it gets stronger. She turned her father's most terrifying moment into her greatest triumph. When John Force saw his daughter's record run from his hospital bed, he cried tears of joy that I felt in my soul. This wasn't just a daughter honoring her father. This was the passing of the racing torch from one generation to the next. From 157 wins to a world record, the Force legacy lives on.
Brittany's past the 8 mile. Brittany Force goes across 343! 343 miles an hour! Holy Christmas! 364.5 at 343.16 miles an hour. Where does it end?
Unbelievable. Sometimes you anticipate, you hope, and you are rewarded. 343.16, the fastest speed in the history of drag racing.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of what we lost when Senna died. The chance to see him pass his wisdom to the next generation. But the Force family shows us what's possible when racing legends survive to see their children exceed even their wildest dreams. Brittany's achievement goes beyond just speed. She proved that women can dominate in the most extreme motorsports on Earth. While Formula One still struggles with female representation, Nhra has a woman holding the fastest record in the sport. She's not just fast, she's the fastest in the world. Every time a little girl sees Brittany's Force's names at the top of the record books, she learns that there are no limits to what women can achieve. From Senna inspiring Brazilian boys to race, to Brittany inspiring girls worldwide to go faster than anyone thought possible. John Force built more than a racing career, he built a dynasty. John Force Racing became a family empire where the racing spirit passes from generation to generation. While we lost Senna's future contributions, the Force family shows us how racing legends can live on through their children. So here's what moves me most about John Force's story. Every one of his crashes taught Nhra something new about protecting drivers. The hands device that saved his life was developed after studying crashes like Senna's. The carbon fiber safety cells, the fire suppression systems, the medical response protocols, all evolved from learning from tragedy. So while Formula One lost Senna and then improved safety, Nhra kept Force alive while improving safety. That's the difference. They didn't wait for a tragedy to learn. They learned from every crash, every close call, every moment when they almost lost their heroes. Let me put John Force's incredible career in perspective for you. Senna's 41 Formula One wins were legendary, but Force's 157 Nhra wins are absolutely mind-blowing. That's nearly 4 times as many victories. His 16 championships span decades of dominance that no other motorsport has ever seen. But it's not just about numbers, it's about longevity, survival, and the refusal to give up. While Senna's career was cut short at 34, Force kept racing into his 70s. He proved that with proper safety, racing legends don't have to die young. They can live long enough to become living legends. You know what John Force's survival story taught me? That Senna's racing spirit didn't die at Imola. It evolved. It learned to protect itself, to survive crashes, to pass wisdom to the next generation. Every time Force walked away from a crash, he carried Senna's spirit with him. Whether it's Senna's courage in Formula One or Force's resilience in NHRA, the message is the same. The racing spirit refuses to be defeated. One crash took Senna away, but multiple crashes only made Force stronger. That's the evolution of motorsports. That's the power of learning from loss. Whether you're Brazilian like me mourning Senna or American celebrating Force's 157 wins, we're all part of the same racing family. We honor our fallen heroes by protecting our living legends. We learn from tragedy to prevent. All right, guys, it's time to say goodbye. So I hope you have enjoyed this great documentary about John Force and his daughter Brittany Force, and the story of Ayrton Senna that probably most Americans don't know. So it's a pleasure to be here to tell everything. So you know what to do, you know the drill, right? So if you like my content, you know, comment, smash the like button, you know, that's very important. And of course, the most important part, share this content with your friends who loves racing, who loves motorsports. And this is it. I'm Matheus Domingos. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's time to say goodbye. Bye-bye.